Today, in a New York federal courtroom, Sean Diddy Combs told the judge he was, quote, a little nervous. The rap mogul's criminal trial began this morning. He is trafficking, racketeering, and more.
Because we now know who all the prosecutors will be on Diddy's trial. They're all women. They have assembled a team of female prosecutors, and that is definitely not.
From the glitz of Hollywood red carpets to the grim reality of courtroom confessions, the Combs family's story has become the ultimate clash of fame, power, and privilege. Behind the perfect smiles and fancy clothes, there is a story so dark and twisted that it threatens to destroy everything we thought we knew about one of the most famous and enduring entertainment dynasties. What began as whispers of scandal has exploded into a full-blown legal catastrophe, with shocking claims that have left the public reeling, and at the center of it all, Sean Diddy Combs and his son Christian. This isn't just a story about lawsuits, though. It's also about betrayal, chaos, and a family that seems to be falling apart because of all its lies. Buckle up, because what's coming next will leave you wondering everything.
Said that they had been abused, saying it happened decades ago, and they thought that they could look at the evidence in this case, which is about assault, and view it fair and unbiased based on what comes into the courtroom. And one woman who is proceeding said she was arrested when she was 16 for shoplifting at Harry Potter's World at Universal Studios. The judge asked her what she stole.
The accusations against Christian communications are shocking. Imagine the shock when Grace Marai, a young stewardess with big plans for the future, came forward with claims that put the spotlight on a scary December 2022 yacht trip that was supposed to be a family-friendly vacation, but turned into a honky-tonk spiral of excess and debauchery. Omar says that while Christian was on the luxurious yacht chartered by Diddy, he forced her to drink what she thought was spiked tequila, and then put her through a horrifying ordeal in a private recording studio on board. There are disturbing audio recordings to back up her claims. Christian is now facing charges that could ruin not only his own reputation, but also the carefully crafted public image of the whole Combs family. While Christian's lawyers are working hard to dismiss the claims as baseless, the atmosphere aboard Duty's yacht, which has been described as a carousel of celebrities, blurred lines, and questionable behavior, paints a damning picture of indulgence and entitlement grace. Marai says that one night destroyed her job, her mental health, and even her relationship with her longtime partner. But her bravery in speaking out has caused a firestorm, and the effects are quickly getting out of hand.
It could be coincidence. I don't think it's coincidence, and especially given the nature of the case.
Yes.
Because when you look at who is examining these various witnesses, especially female alleged victims, of which there will be 4.
The case is even more explosive because it casts a shadow over the relationship between the father and son at its center. Rumors of tension between Christian and his father, Sean Diddy Combs, have started to spread, and they're hard to ignore. Behind the scenes, people say that the family is split, with Christian allegedly thinking about doing the unthinkable and testifying against his own father to save face. The stakes couldn't be higher. On the one hand, Christian faces the possibility of legal ruin. On the other hand, a betrayal that could permanently break the powerful Combs dynasty. Could Christian really turn on his father, the man who built an empire and given him a life most people can only dream of? Or is this all just desperate guesswork in the face of mounting pressure? The accusations against Christian are just the tip of a much bigger picture, showing a young man living a life of entitlement and impunity. Omar Kai's claims about Christian's behavior on board the yacht are nothing short of damning, pressuring her to drink, groping her, and allegedly attempting to force himself on her. In the yacht cinema room, and then there's the chilling detail of the audio recordings in which Omar is heard repeatedly telling Christian to stop, her voice steady, yet desperate, as sounds of his alleged advances echo in the background. These recordings, captured by a producer in the makeshift studio, are said to be powerful evidence, painting a vivid picture of the disturbing scene. The accusations show not only Christian's bad behavior, but also the Combs family's supposedly excessive and lawless way of life.
Diddy, after the Cassie lawsuit, gets hit with a bunch of lawsuits, and then ultimately the raids, and then this criminal case.
But where does Sean Diddy Combs fit into all of this? The accusations against his son are inextricably linked to the bigger questions about Diddy's role in this chaotic saga for decades. Diddy has been one of the most powerful figures in entertainment, a man who built a vast empire on charisma, ambition, and an unrelenting drive. But recent revelations have cast a dark shadow over his legacy, from his own federal human trafficking investigation to lawsuits that allege years of abuse and misconduct. Diddy's personal and professional worlds are crumbling before our very eyes. And now, with Grace Omar Kai's lawsuit naming him as a co-defendant for allegedly creating the environment that led to the assault, the lines between father and son's actions grow increasingly blurred.
It's starting to come out in the early days of the Diddy trial. This, of course, is P. Diddy. Surprise, surprise, he's a creep. Surprise, surprise, he's done horrible things.
Is this a case of a powerful patriarch enabling his son's behavior, or is Diddy himself the architect of a much deeper, more insidious culture of excess and recklessness? Critics have been quick to point out parallels between the allegations against Christian and the accusations long leveled at Diddy himself, suggesting a pattern that may have been passed down through the generations. The family's united front is starting to show cracks, and as the legal drama unfolds, the world is left wondering who will be left standing when the dust settles. The Combs family has always been synonymous with power, wealth, and influence, but as these allegations unfold, they are revealing a darker side to the glittering facade the world is watching. And one thing is certain: this story is far from over. Stay tuned, because the next chapter promises even more shocking twists and revelations that will leave us all questioning what lies beneath the surface of fame.
Dishonest, violent, horrible. A promiscuous swinger who lied to and cheated on multiple partners. Incredibly, that's how Sean Diddy Combs' own lawyers describe the billionaire music mogul, currently facing serious trafficking charges.
So just as the allegations against Christian Combs seem damning enough to topple the family's empire, another bombshell emerges: the testimony of Cassie Sean, Diddy Combs' former girlfriend and protege. Her courageous decision to step forward has sent shockwaves through the entertainment world, exposing a side of Diddy that many suspected but few dared to confront. Cassie's story doesn't just implicate Diddy in a web of manipulation and abuse. It shines a glaring spotlight on the culture of control, secrecy, and fear he allegedly created within his personal and professional circles. And her words in court, they are nothing short of haunting.
By the evidence that's already coming out in the criminal trial?
No, I'm not surprised. I experienced some of those things. Witnessed violence.
Cassie shared a harrowing account of her relationship with Diddy, describing a decade trapped in what she called a cycle of control and degradation. Her testimony painted a picture of a man obsessed with power, a man who allegedly used threats, violence, and humiliation to dominate those around him. I feared for my career. I feared for my family. I feared for my family. It's just embarrassing. It's horrible and disgusting. No one should do that to anyone, Cassie reportedly told the courtroom, her voice steady but laced with emotion. And while many might assume these revelations relate only to her personal experiences, Cassie's story has broader implications, especially as it relates to the accusations against Christian. Could this toxic environment allegedly created by Diddy have shaped the behavior of his son? Could Christian's actions be a reflection of what he witnessed growing up in the shadow of his father's unchecked authority?
Well, the things that I experienced with him were monster-like. That stuff almost destroyed.
And then there's a matter of Diddy's own legal troubles as federal investigators dig deeper into the music mogul's past. A disturbing pattern begins to emerge. The federal human trafficking investigation, which has already resulted in raids on his properties in Los Angeles and Miami, has uncovered shocking details about an alleged criminal network operating under the guise of his glamorous lifestyle. Investigators allege that Diddy used his influence to orchestrate parties and events that were anything but innocent, with claims of coercion, illegal substances, and exploitation coming to light, while Diddy has vehemently denied all accusations, calling them sickening and fabricated the evidence against him is mounting. But Grace Murray isn't the only one accusing Diddy of enabling a culture of exploitation over the past year. A slew of lawsuits and accusations have surfaced from other individuals tied to his inner circle. One former producer, Rodney LaRod Jones, has come forward with claims that he was forced to record hours of incriminating footage, documenting what he described as disturbing in criminal acts, according to Jones. He felt trapped in his role, unable to leave, due to the fear of retaliation. His testimony adds another layer of credibility to the allegations, suggesting that these incidents weren't isolated, but part of a larger orchestrated pattern.